Right, attempt number two. I think I got everything cleared out. All right, so today, watch some videos on it, some news on there. All right, so today something pretty cool on it. So this content creator name Saxophone, I guess, really big in the Gasha community. I'm new to it, so kind of getting the hang of who's who on it. Different games are coming out, since I'm kind of like all into it, Withering Waves. I'm trying to see what else is news coming out. So he's talking about a game called Blue Protocol, and it sounds very interesting. So I thought I'd watch a video about it and see what it's all about.
Video. You guys know I get quite a few of those, and oftentimes game companies will reach out to me and they'll be like, hey, can you make a video on our game? And then I'll look at it, I'll talk about it, whatever. This is just news though, and this is something I've been so excited about for such a long time. In fact, probably more creators than just me are excited, and you will be hearing from them very soon, because Blue Protocol Star Resonance just got announced for a global release. Now, if you don't know what Blue Protocol Star Resonance is, but maybe you know what Blue Protocol is, maybe you're confused on what that's about. Essentially, there was this anime MMORPG that was in development for a really long time called Blue Protocol. It was developed by Bandai Namco, and they were based out of Japan. So it was going to be a Japanese anime MMORPG, but somehow, some way, everything went horribly wrong, and the game released in Japan first after like 10 years of waiting. The game, if you Google it, it says the game was announced in 2022. That is not true. Blue Protocol was a game that maybe the release wasn't officially announced, but the game was in development way before then, and it is actually a large reason why so many content creators that played Genshin Impact ended up being a Genshin Impact creator.
This kind of news I didn't know about. I haven't heard the name Bandai Namco in a long time. Back in the Super Nintendo and NES games like myself, that used to be a name that everybody knew on it. But yeah, it's been a very, very, very long time since I've heard their name. So
because what happened is this game was taking so long to come out. I think it had to have been announced in 2018 or earlier. I don't remember when. I just remember seeing an MMO Byte video on it way back in the day when I was looking for a new MMO. And amongst all of the hype of this game, Blue Protocol, this game comes out of nowhere called Genshin Impact, something we had never before seen in the West. It's like a high quality gacha game. So all the Westerners who have never touched gachas before, I mean, there are some, right? But people like me who's like, I played casually Pokemon Masters EX. I didn't even know what a gacha game was at that point, right? So Genshin Impact comes out and we're like, oh my God, it's an anime RPG. That's all I wanted. Because so many people wanted just an anime RPG to play, and some people wanted an anime MMORPG to play, but Genshin Impact comes out and it fills that gap. And we're like, okay, I'll just play this until fuck. And some of us are like, okay, I'll just play this until Blue Protocol comes out.
See, I didn't even know that. Actually, it was my daughter who got me into the whole Genshin Impact. I thought I thought it was going to be something pretty cool. I was expecting more Withering Waves actually when I first played it. I didn't even know what Gasha was, to be honest. And then yeah, I tried it out. Didn't really like it. Didn't like the system. I didn't like the fighting. Didn't really like the game at all, to be completely honest.
That was what I did. And then I heard it was going to be announced, and then I was like, oh my God, this is it. Finally, we're going to get to play. They release it in Japan only, and it's absolutely cooked. When you release a game to one region only, when the entire world's excited about it, you fuck the game. I don't know how many times we have to tell you this, old man. You know, like, how many times do we have to repeat this same old song and dance where we release a game earlier in another region when the entire world is excited for it? It was different back in the day because we didn't have as much globalization and social media showing us everything that was going on in all parts of the world, but now we do, right? So now the expectation is a global release, which Blue Protocol Star Resonance is doing. Now, before
I say, I think Wuhan and games like that, it's actually kind of putting the whole eastern side back into the map. I remember this seeing it Super Nintendo JRPGs, the Japanese role-playing games. That was our ticket to kind of like the eastern games. But that's died out for a long time, and it's been mainly just a lot of Western AAA games that have only been pretty much trash. It's been getting worse and worse every day, but I think now people are just wanting a game that are just fun, and that's actually what it's been coming from the east, and that's what it's taking over.
Before I tell you more about Star Resonance, because I've just been yapping about the history of Star Resonance and why this is such a big deal, you do need to know where Star Resonance came from. So essentially, Blue Protocol did end of service. That game is dead. The Japanese MMORPG is completely dead. The reason is because they released it in Japan first, and they didn't focus enough on the gameplay, and they focused too much on cosmetics, and it caused the gameplay to fall flat and players to be unhappy. That's the problem. Well, one company, I believe they're called Bokura, they bought the rights to Blue Protocol to make a mobile version of the game when Blue Protocol came out, and they were going to call it Blue Protocol Star Resonance. Now, when Blue Protocol EOS, I think they basically just got free reign to do like whatever they wanted with it. So they took the world of Blue Protocol, the art style of Blue Protocol, and like the combat and stuff, and they kind of overhauled a lot of the bad things about it. So like the combat is much better, the class design is much better, the character and world progression feels much better. And they did all of that and then ported it over to a mobile device. So now we essentially have upgraded Blue Protocol. Now you might be wondering, well, Brax, I haven't heard of Bokura. What is that? How did they get the money for this? That doesn't make sense. Well, actually, it was Tencent. To my knowledge,
Tencent just been too. They're just buying up everything and then slowly but surely bringing it to the West. I think that's been their mo.
Tencent is funding Bokura and the creation of Star Resonance, and then they realized once Blue Protocol EOS how much hype there was for a global release, or like for other players that still wanted to play Blue Protocol. So now they announced the global release. So that's what this is. It's essentially Blue Protocol Premium Pro Max Ultra Plus Plus. It's like Blue Protocol, but they took out some of the bad systems, put in some better systems, and it's going to be available globally on PC and mobile. So now we have another platform too. I do hope we get a console release. They didn't say anything about it, but hopefully that can happen, because if you can port something to mobile, you can port something to console. Let's be honest. So I was actually in the CN beta test for Blue Protocol Star Resonance, so I got to play it a fair bit. The problem for me is that, like, obviously I can't read any form of Chinese, so a lot of what I was doing was guessing based on my previous MMO experiences, and I did figure out a lot of systems, and it very much is an MMO at its core, although it does play a little differently from some of the MMOs that I'm used to. And I don't know if that's just like a studio decision or if that's like a regional thing. But either way, there is a lot of stuff to do in the game, which I think was the biggest problem that Blue Protocol initially had, was that there just wasn't enough actual content to play. There are some concerns I have still, and I'll talk about those in a moment. But what you should know is that this game has a lot more to do at the moment.
Yo, that looks insane. I'm not gonna lie. That that looks pretty cool
Than original Blue Protocol did, and I think that's a huge W. For example, you can go life skilling, you can dungeon spam for gear score if you want to increase your gear score, you can just run dungeons infinitely. I know a lot of people were really worried about, myself included, about them putting like a stamina system in for dungeons where you can only run a certain amount of dungeons a day, but you can actually run dungeons infinitely. There is no stopping you from running one infinitely. You do get bonuses for the first 2 dungeons you run every day. That's your daily incentive to play, is that your first 2 dungeons give you bonus loot, but you can technically just run it over and over and over for gear. And there's also other classes, and you can get all of the classes on one character, which means that you can progress all of your classes on one character. If you've already maxed one out, that doesn't mean you have nothing to do on that character anymore. You can still max out other jobs or other classes.
That sounds really good.
And swap between them. There's world bosses, elite farming for materials. There's a challenge tower that has multiple floors. There's 20-man raids. There's plenty of guild content. There's fishing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the fishing one seems like a pretty big deal, because I feel like every single game there's fishing in, there's like a cult of fishermen who like sit there and fish all day, every day.
I'm really interested about the 20-man raid. I haven't raided like that since World of Warcraft. I will say Lich King was the last time I did like a really, yeah, that was the last time that I really raided like that. So I wouldn't mind actually having a game where I'm actually doing raiding like that.
And that's like what they do for the entire game, like all the way from beginning to EOS. These guys are crazy, but I'm happy for them. You know, they found something that they enjoy doing, and go fish, man. You also have class role trials that you need to do to level up your classes. So, I mean, there's just a lot of things for you to sit down and actually do every single day. Now, there are downsides, because remember, I played the beta and I got to experience firsthand what it felt like to have a stamina system in an MMO. The stamina system is not for dungeon and gearing. It is, however, for crafting and gathering. Now, for some people, that is a huge deal, and that's a deal breaker, and I totally get it. For me, I'm not someone who's always spent a lot of time crafting and gathering, but it does feel like it has some pretty good applications in this game, mostly because by crafting and gathering, you can get things that you need to upgrade your gear, and it limits the amount of things that you can do per day. So essentially the way it works is you have a cap of 2,000 stamina, and every single day at reset, you get 400 stamina. Every single thing you craft or gather takes 10 stamina, so you can craft or gather up to 40 things combined for your daily stamina. But since the game will launch with you capped at 2000, so I would recommend, like, if you guys are starting out, probably just go grab a bunch of stuff so your stamina doesn't cap. There's also some different ways to get stamina. One of my biggest pieces of this is just the fact that you can buy the stamina. You can't buy too much of it. There's actually a really short limit of how much you can actually buy, but there's ways to get more stamina, and it involves using the cash shop. So I'm not a big fan of that. But if you do want a stamina max, you actually get different stamina on every character you have. So if you make 3 characters, each character is going to get 400. And if you're trading that on the market board, or if you're just trying to farm skills or whatever that may mean, you technically can get up to 1200 stamina a day across your 3 characters. But
I think I would rather see a stamina on the dungeons than the actual gathering. It just makes it into like a sit down and spam the dungeons, actual exploration, because you're just gonna explore a little bit, gather, and then all right, well, I'm capped out of gathering, so no reason to go out and walk.
But yeah, that has been the biggest sort of upset I've had about the entire thing, is that gating, this is based on the beta, by the way, so this still could change, but gating your crafting and gathering behind stamina, I do think is not great. It's not the worst thing. I would much rather than gate crafting and gathering than dungeon runs, because like the main content of an MMO is running content with your friends, and I feel like, if I'm gonna go run dungeons, if I'm gonna run bosses, raids, and stuff like that, I'd rather not have those gated by stamina. That just takes away like so much of what the game is supposed to be. But either way, you still are gating some sort of side content, which I don't think is good. The other issue with Star Resonance is that it does have one of the same issues that Tower of Fantasy has. This does not matter if you start playing the game like a month in, but it matters for people playing at launch. They are time gating the main story quest. So essentially what that means is after you do the first quest, there's going to be a server, I believe it's server side, there's going to be a server time where the next quest unlocks. And that is another artificial mechanism to slow down progression, to make sure people don't rush to end game immediately. Now, as far as I can tell, none of this stuff actually exists outside of Chinese MMOs. I haven't played a ton of Korean MMOs.
Well, in World of Warcraft, they did the same thing. So if you play all MMOs, World of Warcraft, it did. We had time gated for even on the raids. I think like for Lich King, the only thing we were able to do was the first boss, where you could do the other rest. We had to wait until it was unlocked as well. The raid, you only had a 1 week to clear it, and that was it. So that's it. You can't do it anymore. If you guys we only did one boss, that was it. Or within that 1 week, your group, so you can only get together 2 days a week. That was it. You're stuck like that. So yeah, that is not too bad, because it's kind of similar to what I experienced playing World of Warcraft.
I wasn't there at Lost Ark launch, so I don't know if they did the same thing, but it is something that I find quite frustrating. Really hoping that they don't do that on release and that it was just a beta thing, but we will see. There is a possibility that you do the quest and then you have to go do side content for the rest of the day because the next quest doesn't unlock for 32 hours. So in my opinion, those are the 2 biggest downsides. I know some people don't like the graphics. I'm personally a fan. I think it looks like anime and very cartoonish, the way that the characters move. And I feel like that's kind of on brand for what the game is. I know some people don't like that, but that's that's just my opinion. I think it's cool. But yeah, so this is a game that everyone has been waiting for a super long time, and I've been waiting for it for a super long time. Now it's like Blue Protocol died, and then they harvested Blue Protocol's organs and put them into another vessel, and now that thing is alive. But it seems better and stronger than ever before. Blue Protocol Star Resonance, I'm very excited for it, and with the announcement of a global release, you can absolutely expect me to be full diving into that game when it comes out. I've always been an MMO junkie. I have played so many MMOs throughout my life. I love investing all of my time into one game and being able to play that game with my friends for meaningful content. Am I still going to cover other games? Time will tell. It depends how much time I have when Blue Protocol comes out, right? But I'm absolutely going to be talking about that game a lot because I love MMORPGs, and finally, after what feels like centuries, we get to play an anime MMORPG that is not Aura Kingdom. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about Blue Protocol Star Resonance. If you guys are gonna
Sounds interesting. I haven't played an MMORPG in a very long time. MMORPG is something that I kind of haven't played in a very long time. Kind of just went away after World of Warcraft. Kind of just fizzled out. Nothing that I really wanted to do. So sounds interesting. I might play it. I'll see what when it comes out. Might be, since everything's time gated, it could be something that you could throw in like a rotation between other games. So it might be fun. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Alright, 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 alright. There's some other stuff right here. Oh, this is something extremely interesting. So yeah, that's another cool video. Silver Palace. Um, I heard about that kind of like in the tubosphere, within the Gasha community, and it looked pretty much phenomenal. And yeah, I was completely and utterly intrigued. So yeah, let's watch the trailer.
We have a big case on our hands. Dozens are dead, burned to ashes. You may be the best detective.
But Sylvania isn't the best city there is.
That looks amazing.
The city is like liquid silver,
That looks amazing.
always changing.
That looks beautiful. LA Noir.
What is true
Feel?
might not always stay true. Sin and
Steampunkish.
evil stalk the city like a stubborn shadow.
Oh. So you gotta detect mobs?
I need an assistant.
I'm Alf. I'm here for the interview.
Of course.
You shall become my knight in her stead.
So I'm getting a lot of Sherlock Holmes vibes. So now that's kind of cool. I'm getting a little bit of vibes on that end. So let's see what else.
Look who it is. You're not welcome in Sylvania.
Do not talk to the detective with that tone.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
I really like the atmosphere. Really,
Besides fire,
looks amazing.
there's another way to turn the skin black. You know what it is, but it's just too peculiar.
That's crazy.
The clock strikes 12. This is the night.
Where everything ends! Admit it!
You don't have what it takes to be the bad guy.
What is this?
Fairy tales mean something else to us. I already knew none of us could escape fate. Unless you are the author.
Yeah. What? Why can't we get? Why can't we get that? Why can't we get that in from Western games? Just triple A games.
I'm no longer a detective. So why are you still so excited?
Yeah.
So I just tried playing Genshin Impact on stream.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I really do think it looks great. I wonder what I wonder what it entails. I want to know more about it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good game. I'm kind of intrigued. I'm intrigued by it. We got a lot of. I think we got a lot of good games coming up. Um, yeah, it's something been a shift. The whole gotcha thing on it's bringing a lot of games back here. One, things like that. That's I think it's taking over and it's kind of like overshadowing, um, this so-called AAA game. So I'm pretty excited about that. To be completely honest. All right, okay. I have some other videos too. Yeah, this is funny. This was actually funny. Let me. Why is the settings? It's like the second time I changed it.
So I just
So this was actually a pretty funny video that I saw. Nicholas Like TV. He talks about his experience playing Genshin Impact, and I think like as a Western gamer, I think I felt the same way when what he played, and kind of like what I kind of like experienced as well. Uh, when I played Wuwa, and then kind of going back to Genshin, just playing around on there. And it kind of hit the nail on the head. So yeah, I wanted to play it and pretty guess what I mean.
so I just tried playing Genshin Impact on stream for the second time, and I ended the stream after 30 minutes. I titled the stream "Playing Genshin Impact Until I Love It or I Hate It." Well, after 30 minutes, I found out that I hate it, especially
To be completely honest, playtime was more like 20 minutes. Just to let you know.
after playing Wuthering Waves yesterday, which feels like a far superior version
Exactly.
of Genshin Impact.
Exactly.
And let me preface this for the retards that this is my opinion, okay? So if you love Genshin, that's completely fine. And if you hate
Agreed.
Genshin, that's
Agreed.
completely fine. It's totally up to you. It's art. It's subjective. It's all about opinions. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. So I'm not going to keep saying, in my opinion, for me. Everything in this video is my opinion. Wuthering Waves, to me, is me in my best shape, right? I wake up in the morning. I could get the day going. I could get my day started. I could grind hard. I could work out. I could have a great day and everything. Muscles, I'm ripped. I'm eating right. I don't feel sluggish. I'm energized. I don't feel tired all day. Genshin Impact, to me, is the opposite. It's out of shape in Nicholas Light. It's walking up 3 steps and I'm out of breath in Nicholas Light. Slow and sluggish, and I don't want to wake up, and I'm just feeling tired all day. That's what Genshin Impact felt to me, I'm just not into it. The first stream I was into it. It was new to me. But then I played Wuthering Waves again. And then going to Genshin after Wuthering Waves, I think that's one of the worst things to do.
I completely agree. I think if you're a Genshin player, you love Genshin, don't play Wuthering Waves. I didn't like Genshin Impact even when it was a brand new thing on it. I played it. It was so slow. Again, I've been playing other games. I played like Elden Ring and things like that. So that's kind of games I like. The dodging, pairing. Play Monster Hunter Worlds. Now I'm playing Monster Hunter Wilds. So I'm playing a lot of like RPGs as well, and that just felt. It really truly felt like I was playing a mobile game on a PC, if that makes more sense. I was just like, no, I couldn't get it. My daughter wanted me to play. I played it with her, the little co-op thing. I was like, all right, cool, yeah. I know, didn't touch it. I couldn't touch it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't physically do it. I couldn't skip all this crappy stuff that I didn't want to listen to. I just couldn't do it.
You're just setting yourself up to hate the game. And then people will tell me, Genshin Impact has a great story, it has great characters. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'll probably say something not a lot of people will tell you. I don't give a fuck about the story in a video game.
Yeah,
I just
true.
want good gameplay. If it happens to have a good story, even better. Holy shit. Wuthering Waves, for example. Peak fucking gameplay and combat. Oh my God. Peak characters, peak story, peak music. It has it all. It's the full package. Genshin Impact to me has cool characters. Maybe it has a great story. I'm just never going to find out because I'm not playing it again. The gameplay to me is just inferior to Wuthering Waves. And then people are going to bring up the whole attention span. You have a short attention span. You're a zoomer. Yeah, you're this, you're that. You don't have the brain cells to enjoy the game. Meanwhile, I just played 4 hours of Wuthering Waves companion quests where 99.8% of the time you're reading as if it's a storybook, but the story is so goddamn good that I was just fully engaged. That's
Yes. The companion quest, you'll spend an hour or two in just one companion quest, and you're just like the whole time, okay, what happened? What? Wait, hold on. So this, okay, wow, that's very interesting. The last quest from before for 2.3, it was like 4 hours, 4 hours long, and the whole time I'm just like, whoa, okay, oh, that's cool. You're like, what happened? You're like, what? And the voice, not even talking about the voice acting. The voice acting is something of the best that I've ever seen. I've heard. The voice acting is peak in every single way. I mean, I can't give it enough praise. Maybe the story for 1.0 was inferior, and I even enjoyed it. I thought it was okay, but I was not even expecting the 2.0 story to just be like, holy macro.
That's how good it is. So it has nothing to do with attention span. To me, it just has to do with whether the game's good or not. If I want something with bad gameplay and a good story, I'll just read a fucking book. But I'm not reading a book. I'm playing a game. And the most important thing of playing a game is the game. It's the gameplay. I will not play Genshin Impact anymore. I don't want to be a content creator that's just going to hate on the game. And to those that are content creators that hate on games, I fucking love you guys. I love hate content. But I don't want to do that. I want to play good games that I enjoy. I want to play good games. I want to play games that I genuinely enjoy. I want to try Stellar Blade. I want to try Wukong. I want to try, what else? Persona. I want to try maybe even Honkai Star Rail. I don't know if I'll like it, but we'll see. I want to try PGR. I want to try all these games. Limbus Company. Even Expedition 33. I will not play a game that I do not enjoy, and I will not fake it for views. I already did that with K-pop. I already did that with so much on my fucking channel in the past. Not so much anime. Sometimes I've watched an anime that I don't really enjoy, but entertaining you guys and making you guys happy and smile and laugh, that was enough for me to get that content out. But man, I cannot play Genshin. I just can't, bro.
I feel the same way. I completely feel the same way. And you know what? Expedition 33 is one of those things. I will say that the story, writing, and voice acting in Wuthering Waves is on par with Expedition 33. And if you don't know what I mean by that, you just have to play it and see. And the thing is, it with the whole Honkai Star Rail, the way they, the fighting system, it's like, no, I don't want to play Honkai Star Rail because I played Expedition 33. That's why. I mean, peak story, a beautiful world, beautiful gameplay. So why would I ever? Why? Again, I have there's better games, so I don't want to play an inferior game because I know I'm not gonna like it.
I won't do that to myself. And if you're part of the Genshin community and you don't like this video, you live in an echo chamber where you want every single person to say how you feel. And that's just not how the world works. I live in a world where not everybody agrees with what I say. I have friends that don't agree with everything I say or have the same opinions on me for video games and movies and TV shows, even politics, and I still fucking love them. That's my world, and that's the real world. I'm going to continue playing Wuthering Waves. I'm going to continue gaming on my channel. I might even play Mario Kart on stream. I'm only going to play things that I genuinely enjoy. I don't care about the views. I care about the views. What am I talking about? But if the views outweigh my enjoyment like this much, I don't care enough to do it. If it's like this, I'm fine, right? But if it's like this, nah, fuck that. And if you think an opinion is too strong, you're a pussy. I played Wuthering Waves yesterday, and I think I was smiling the entire 4 hours I was playing it. That's what I want to do. That's what I want more of. Wuthering Waves actually brought back my passion and excitement for video games that I've been living without since I was a teenager. When I became an adult, it was like everything I have to do or everything I do has to make me money. And if it's not making me money, I'm not going to do it. And I wasn't playing games and making money. I wasn't making any money to begin with when I was like in my 20s until I became a YouTuber. But I finally found my passion and my excitement for gaming again. And I am not going to ruin it by doing things I don't want to do, playing games I don't want to play, that I genuinely do not enjoy. And I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I'm not into this whole wars shit, like the gotcha wars, like the Hoyo shills and the Kuro bots. And
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, I guess every place has their own. Like, there's the Bethesda Bros, in the West, that even though they're making games are just absolute trash, and they still like rave about it. I don't understand that. Something's bad is just bad. Same thing with like the whole Blizzard Bros too, where Diablo 4 is just trash compared to anything else. Diablo 4 is just a bad game. They've been making bad games since Diablo 3, StarCraft 2. Those are all inferior games. I'm sorry, it's just what it is. I don't chill for never I just don't understand why they think they have to. And especially for gacha games, I think because they put so much money into it, they feel like they have to. Because it's like they put an investment on something and then something else came along. I mean, that happens anyways in the world. You put invested in something and something else comes around and makes your investment look smaller. I mean, then you just move your investments. That's the way I think. That's just the way I think.
I'm not into that cornball bullshit, okay? I'm a Kuro bot, I believe, because I fucking love them. But I'm not here to start drama with other communities. If you love a game, you fucking love the game. I'm not here to ruin your time with it. I'm not here to judge you for that. But yeah, man, that's all I wanted to talk about. I know people are probably going to be talking about this shit, ripping me apart for my attention span. And meanwhile, how much anime have I watched on my channel? Thousands of episodes of One Piece, hundreds of episodes of Bleach and Naruto, hundreds of episodes of other anime, like over 50 fucking anime that I've watched. Anime that's either slow paced, super slow paced, and then you have the fast paced shonen ones. Same thing with the games, bro. I played over like 30 hours of Wuthering Waves. So much of it is just reading, and I fucking love it so much. But yeah, man, that's gonna be it. Love y'all. Bye. Sayonara. Love y'all. Bye. Sayonara.
Don't keep playing videos.
So I just yeah, man, that's gonna be it. Love y'all. Bye. Sayonara.
I swear, this thing is really.
So I just tried playing Genshin Impact on stream.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Um, how I feel, when I went back, and there is something about Wuwa that when I played it, I couldn't stop playing it. It was like, plus, I watched every single episode of One Piece from episode one. I'm an old person, so I watched everything from the beginning. I've been watching, anime since the Akira. One of the first animes I watched. People don't know. Most of people don't know what that is. I've been watching anime for a very, very long time, and I felt like I was in that actual anime world for the first time in a very long time. It was like I felt it. The combat was there. It was kind of like if Elden Ring and Monster Hunter Wilds, um, you know, had a baby with a manga creator. It's like, and it's like, so, like, when like Batman got, they did the anime Batman. That's kind of felt somebody just took those games, just let's make it into an anime. That's how I felt. But everything was peak story, music, character, combat, everything. So yeah, I understand his frustration. I understand why he said what it is. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. And I think that's what I'm gonna do today. I have an early wake up call for work tomorrow. I'm gonna cut it short today. Not my usual, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta earn that bread. You know, I'm still on that grind. I'm gonna keep doing this until either something happens or they boot me out of the. They just boot me out and say, "Okay, Phil, you're done. You're done. You're garbage. You're done." That's what I'm gonna do. It's kind of like my hobby, my pastime, and I like it. So, it's what it is.